Hello, and welcome to the Leisurely Learning Texthelp PDF Reader series. In this series, we are going over in depth how to use the various parts of the Texthelp PDF Reader to best support your students. In this video, we will be looking at best practices for using the Texthelp PDF Reader in Google Classroom. Let's get started. So before we get started, I want to always make sure that I take a look at the PDF that I'm going to be sharing with my students. And the reason for this is you have this feature in the highlights. This feature only appears when you have connected the PDF reader to your Google Classroom. So remember in the second video, we made sure we enable Google Classroom integration. So now what I'm going to do is I've got this open. I'm going to look for any text that I don't want my students to use. And typically this is in the header or footer. So I've got this header or footer here. I'm going to select it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this block read out loud button. And we'll just do this middle part as well. And you'll notice what it does is it puts a line through it. And what that means is that when it's shared through Google Classroom, the students, and they press the click to read button, it's actually going to skip over this. This is an image, so we don't have to worry about that. We can do that on multiple pages here. So we'll just go in, make sure that this is done. Okay, once we're done that, now we can go to our Google Classroom through here, and we can go to classwork and we can press create and we can create an assignment. And we can title this Zombie History. Oops. Okay, and we can add our PDF. The other thing that we can do is we can go here over to this button and we can press on this and it will from here prompt you to add it to Classroom this way. So I'm just going to enlarge this. I'm going to go choose a class. So I'm going to choose the class I want to add it to. I'm going to choose the action. I want to create an assignment and I'm going to press go. And then it pops up directly into that. So now it's got the file already attached. I'm going to press zombies. And this is an extremely important piece. So the default here is students can view the file. So if this was just a resource that I was sharing with my students, one of the things that you want to remember is that the way the Texthelp PDF Reader works is it works in that overlay fashion. So even if you're sharing a PDF as students can view the file only, the Texthelp PDF Reader will allow them to still write over top of it. So you always want to be sharing your PDFs, even if it's just a resource for them to look at. You always, always, always want to be sharing your PDFs as make a copy for each student. Okay, and that's going to prevent them from writing over top of each other and being able to see and play with each other's work. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to assign it to my class. So I'm going to do that there. It's going to think about that. And there we go. So I'm just going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to make sure that this one is, of course, make a copy for each student. You'll notice I've given it a slightly different title. Okay, if you want to assign a rubric for this work, you can absolutely do so at this point. And I'm going to press assign for this one as well. Okay, so always, always, always with a PDF, whether it's just for viewing or not, make a copy for each student. So I'm going to go into this now as a student. So I'm just going to flip over to the student side and I'm going to go into the classroom. I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to take a look at this work. And so as a student, I have also made sure that my classroom integration is set in the dashboard. So now when I click on this, you're going to notice that it's going to open up automatically in the Texthelp PDF Reader. So it's not going to open in that preview view where I have to click on open with. It opens automatically up in here. And now what I can do is I can go through and I can just use all the regular tools as I would normally. Again, with that classroom integration, I now have here a hand in button. So when I'm complete, I can press this hand in button. going to take me back to this page, and I can press turn it in. Okay, so that classroom integration piece is super important also for students. I'm going to come back over to the teacher side, and I'm going to look at that assignment, and I can see that one person has handed it in. So I'm going to view the assignment. And now when I go into this assignment and I view it, you're going to notice that it opens up just as it would any other Google Doc or Sheets or slide that you have assigned, but it opens up with the Texthelp PDF Reader piece already enabled. So now if I wanted to go in, I can see the stuff that my students have done with it with that overlay. I don't have to come here and pop it up into a new piece. I can go in and I can make my comments. Sure, I'm going to use this one. Right, I'll go back over here. Right. If I went in here, right, and I go to do my comment, it's not going to take that comment over from the file bank, but I can paste it in here as well. Okay, so you can use those comments. And then you can post. And when your student goes back and they look at that, oh, let's just make sure that we've returned it to the student. Now, when the student goes back and they see it here, we know it's been returned, and they click on it. They're going to see those comments here as well. And let's just close this for a second. And there's, oops, I closed the whole thing. But they would also be able to see the private comment in their student view page. So that's really how you make sure that you get the best use out of the PDF Reader, by making sure that when you're in that dashboard, and this is for teachers and students, you're really making sure that this Enable Classroom Integration button is checked off. That is the key. So if you have questions, make sure you use the link below to access the Texthelp Reader video question form. Be sure to leave an email so that we can respond to your questions. Thank you for watching this video.